Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Exposure compensation is a camera feature that allows you to adjust the brightness of your image by overriding the camera automatic exposure setting. This feature is a powerful tool for fine-tuning exposure to ensure that your images look like what you really want them, especially in challenging lighting conditions. Exposure compensation changes the camera's exposure value, or EV, to make it darker or brighter. It doesn't affect the aperture, ISO, and shutter speed of your camera directly, but works within the constraints of your chosen mode, for example, like aperture priority or shutter priority or program. Positive exposure compensation makes your image brighter, and negative exposure compensation makes your image darker. This feature is especially useful when you are photographing a very high contrast scenes like a snowy background or a white sand beach, when it tricks your camera metering to make the scene underexposed. And when you're shooting a dark scene like in a forest or a night scene, the camera overexposes the image. When you want to use exposure compensation, please have in mind that this feature works with semi-automatic modes like aperture priority, shutter priority, and program. It doesn't work with manual, because in manual mode you're in total control of almost everything. But there is one exception. If you choose auto ISO on your camera, then you can use exposure compensation even in manual mode. Without any further ado, let me take you to Nikon Z6 camera and show you how to use exposure compensation and how to adjust it for proper exposure. To use exposure compensation on your Nikon camera, there's a button on the top of the camera with a plus and minus sign. Just press it down and hold it. You can change the exposure value, or EV, of your image and be in control of making it lighter or darker. Mastering exposure compensation gives you a control, creative control over your images, and it helps you handle tricky lighting situations with ease. And it's an essential skills for photographers to achieve correct exposure, accurate exposure every time. By mastering exposure compensation, you'll be able to correct for your camera's natural inclinations to expose for 18% gray. So by using exposure compensation, you're in total control, changing the image to what you really want and expose it correctly. Okay, now I'm gonna take a shot over here of a white background. Camera is on aperture priority A and shooting at 1/40th of a second, f2.8, ISO 100. Let's take the shot. And for this shot, I'm gonna take it to +2 EV. It means I'm adding 2 stops of light to the image. Take another one, and when we compare these two photos together, you can see that the first one is more of a gray, 18% gray. That's because the camera metering system has a tendency to set everything to middle gray or 18% gray. But when you add 2 stops of light, then you get the white background. I'm taking a photo of this old stereo amplifier. I'm in aperture priority, shooting at 1/1.3 of a second,
and f2.8 ISO 400. Let's take a photo, and now I'm gonna underexpose this by 2 and almost over 2.5 stops. So take another photo, and we're gonna compare these. And you can see that the first one is exposed for 18% gray or middle gray, and the second one, that when we underexpose the photo, you get more darker tones and a better image. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you liked it, just go ahead and hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have any question, just leave it in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. By subscribing to the channel, you give me the motivation to go ahead and make a video and post it every week. So as usual, take good care of yourself and keep shooting. I see you soon. Cheers.